Jacksonville went like fourth. And
the Saints are back in the Dome, going for the number 1 spot in the NFC South versus the new-look Tampa Bay Bucks. New Orleans should get a boost from the return of running back Alvin Kamara as they look to run away with the W in front of the black and gold. Welcome into Saints Gameday Live alongside John DeShazer. I'm Aaron Summers. We are counting down the minutes to the start of this game, 12 o'clock Central on Fox or right here in the Caesars Superdome. If you are able to make it out, we would love to see you. It should be an awesome crowd out here. And we know we're getting the return of Alvin Kamara. So for our poll question today, we want to know how many receiving and rushing yards do you think that AK is going to get on on the ground or through the air total in today's game. You can just scan that QR code that's on the bottom of your screen there, and we will circle back at the end of the show to see what you guys think. I asked you earlier, but what's your early prediction here?
Well, I said 90, but I actually want to raise that because I think that's too conservative. I think he's going to get the ball a lot, and I think it's going to be more around 110 receiving and rushing yards, and hopefully a touchdown.
Yeah, we will definitely talk a lot more about that as the show goes on. Let's get down to it with the countdown to kickoff presented by Little Caesars. Going into this game, John, the big question mark was whether or not quarterback Derek Carr was going to play after suffering that shoulder injury in the second half of the game at Green Bay. Carr, limited participant in Friday's practice, hasn't gotten a lot of reps, but is active for today's game. How can he be effective today?
Well, he's going to have to get the ball out quickly. He looked pretty sharp when he did throw in the red zone on Friday. He's got to get rid of the ball quickly, and they have to protect better, whether that be a running back staying in, whether that be a tight end, whether that be shifting the line to pick up the pressure where it's coming from those pressure points. But he has to get rid of it a little bit more quickly. When he injured his shoulder on that play, even he said, I held on to it too long. So getting rid of it a little bit more quickly, maybe some screen passes and better protection, maybe help from the running backs and tight ends, that hopefully will solve the case.
Let's talk about that offensive line play. The Bucs, they have 9 sacks so far in the season, so they have created the ability to get to the quarterback. They're allowing just under 20 points per game to teams, so they're playing really well on the defensive side. What does the offensive line need to do in order to protect Carr, give him more time for the plays to develop?
Well, one of the things that will help if they can have a running game decent to help out the passing game. Now, the Saints, Derek Carr has been sacked 11 times in less than 11 quarters. That's not a good rate. He's on a pace to be sacked probably about 68 times for the year. Saints are giving up 4 sacks per game. That's too many. So you help out the line by getting rid of the football a little bit more quickly, Derek Carr. And again, you might have to help with those running backs and with those tight ends because that's what they're there for. If the rush is getting there too soon, you chip block and hopefully you double team a little bit, and that might give him a little bit more time because he needs time to throw the ball. He's holding on to it a little bit too long.
Someone that should help with the running game today is running back Alvin Kamara, who's back after his 3-game suspension. In 11 games played against the Bucs, Kamara has had 11 touchdowns. So today's game will be the 12th. We're definitely looking for him to get into the end zone. The Saints are only getting touchdowns in the red zone at a rate of 40%, and the run game has been very slow to get going. How much of an effect do you think that Alvin Kamara can have on boosting the run game?
Well, I think tremendous because he's the guy that they need. He's got the fresh legs. He averages 17 touches for 90 yards against Tampa Bay in those 11 games. You mentioned the 11 touchdowns, but 10 of those scored on offense, one on a kick return one year, which was fantastic. But Alvin needs to be involved in this running game because they've yet to be able to jumpstart it. Now, here's the problem. Tampa Bay, even though they gave up 201 rushing yards against Philadelphia, the first 2 games combined gave up 108. So they're stingy still. They're just not as stingy as previously.
When Alvin Kamara gets 20 or more touches in a game, the Saints are 26-4. So more AK looks like it's a good thing. Defensively, the Saints are really looking to bounce back from a collapse towards the end of the game against Green Bay, where they allowed 18 points and the Packers to win that one. We've been talking to them in the locker room all week. This game means something. They're out to prove that that isn't typical for the New Orleans defense.
Well, this defense always goes around saying, we want the game on our shoulders. We want the game to be in our hands. And they had the game in their hands, and they fumbled it. So they have a lot of pride. They want to get back on the field, show what they are. This team, only 8 sacks so far this season. Now, you say only 8 sacks. That's a pretty decent amount. But 8 sacks, and when the opponent has 12 sacks, you got to keep pace with them. They're forcing turnovers. They got 4 forced turnovers. So they're pretty good in that area. They just got to be a little bit better in terms of pressuring the quarterback.
Quarterback Baker Mayfield has been really efficient so far. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season. He's hitting guys at a rate of 67%. What can the Saints defense do to disrupt his rhythm?
Hit him often, get him unsettled in the pocket, force him to move around a little bit, and hopefully not move around so much as to scramble, because he can be an effective scrambler, but get him off schedule, hit him a few times, make him nervous, get him jittery, and hopefully he'll give you one.
Looking at the Saints special teams, they did have that great punt return by Rashid Shaheed. Usually when you score on special teams, you win a game. What do you want to see from that unit today?
Well, Shaheed can flip the field, so hopefully he's able to do it in this one. 76-yard punt returns.
Are people still going to kick to him?
I don't think so, and that's the thing. He probably won't have a lot of returnable punts, so hopefully if he does get his hands on one, he can flip the field position a little bit. But I think this might come down to Blake Grupe. The Saints have played 3 games, all decided by 3 points or less. Blake Grupe has been phenomenal the first 2 games and really has not had a bad season. He's 6 or 7 in field goals. It's just that the one field goal he missed was one that could have been a game winner against Green Bay.
Yeah.
So you get in a situation where it's probably going to be a tight game. You hope he's shaking that one off and he can get back to in rhythm to where he made his first 6 and make hopefully a game winner in this one.
Earlier this week, you were able to catch up with head coach Dennis Allen. Let's check in now and hear from DA.
Coach, we know that looks like Derek Carr is questionable for the game, but how has he progressed this week?
Yeah, I think every day he's gotten better. He was able to throw in the latter part of the week, and so I think he's improving every single day, and so. We'll make an evaluation of where exactly he's at, and if he's out there, then what we're saying is he's ready to go out and compete and play at the level that we need him to play at.
If he can't go, it seems you guys have a sufficient amount of confidence in Jameis also.
Yeah, look, Jameis has done a good job for us, and if he's called upon to go out there and play, I have every bit of confidence that he's going to go out there and play well, lead our team to a victory.
Either Derek or Jameis will have Alvin Kamara in the lineup, and how much does that kind of help things along offensively?
Yeah, look, he's one of our better players on our football team, and so having him available to us, I think, will bring a little juice to the offense. It adds an explosive element to what we're doing offensively.
I spoke to some of the offensive linemen, and those guys were kind of genuinely bothered by their performance so far this season. What do you see improving in that area?
Well, look, they had a good week of practice. And I think all those guys understand that, our offense goes as our offensive line goes, and if we do a good job of blocking in the run game, protecting the quarterback, we have a chance to have a lot of success offensively.
What do you think of Tampa's offense and defense? The offense has a new quarterback in Baker Mayfield, and the defense seems to be somewhat of the typical Tampa defense. Yeah,
defensively, they're what we've seen out of Tampa the last few years. I mean, they do a good job of being able to stop the run. They're able to get after the quarterback a little bit. They got a lot of exotic pressures that create some stress on the offense, so it'll be a tough challenge for us. Offensively, I think they're a little bit more balanced run pass than what maybe they've been in the past, and yet they still have those explosive elements on the outside.
And obviously the dome crowd can make a difference in every game. What are you expecting from those guys this game?
Well, look, my hope is that we're playing a good brand of football, and those guys are going to be excited and making a lot of noise out there.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Welcome into What's Brewing with Alani Johnson Jr. I'm Erin Summers. This is presented by Community Coffee. Last game, you got your first defensive reps in Green Bay. How were you able to prepare for that opportunity?
I always look at it as just training myself like the ultimate pro, no matter what position I'm in, whether that's just on special teams or just getting ready to play a regular game. You got to prepare like you're going to play anyway. So I was just ready for the opportunity once I got my chance.
Well, you definitely were ready because you had an interception.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see on that play that allowed you to pick off Jordan Love?
Oh man, we talked about it pretty much like all week. Just 3-by-1 formation. Just some keys that we were looking for. I looked to the right of the formation, seeing that it was Trips over there. Seeing he had one receiver backside, and the route formations that they ran equaled up in my mind for me to go backside. just read out the QB eyes and sped turn and got an interception.
How can you build off of that performance, knowing that you're going to get some more snaps on the defensive side in this next game?
Just continue to be humble throughout the whole process and go out here and prepare like I always have, and listen to the vets. Obviously I got Tyrann Mathieu on the right side of me, and you don't want to go into that game and have him worrying about like who's next to me right now, so I want him to play comfortable too. So with that being said, just go out there and just do my part and make sure I don't let my team down.
You played a couple different places before you got here in New Orleans, your first season here. What's been different about the Saints locker room and this team?
Oh man, I would say just everybody coming together. We all have one mission. One mission is to get to the dance and go dancing. And I can see everybody's taking it one game at a time, no matter what it is. Don't rush the process. Everybody's humble. Everybody focused on that one goal, and that's to win here. And everybody put their head down and get straight to it and ready to work. So,
if you're not working, if you're not at practice, what can we find Lonnie Johnson doing?
Oh man, I'll be at home with my wife and kids. Honestly, just turning the football off and then turning my dad mode on. Just figuring out things for them to do out here in New Orleans, trying new foods. And then after that, just when they're asleep, then it's time to get in the playbook and learn something.
How has it been getting used to being in New Orleans and the fan base?
Oh man, first I can say New Orleans fans, like they show so much love here. It makes you want to play harder for them. Coming into this city and coming into this team, I just felt they welcomed me with open arms. The teammates, the fans, the culture, the city, everything, it just fit me well. So coming here was like the ultimate, it was the best decision I made so far.
Thank you so much, Lonnie, for joining me on What's Brewing, presented by Community Coffee.
Defensive back Lonnie Johnson Jr. should get a few extra snaps on the defensive side of things without safety Jordan Howden and quarterback Paulson Adebo on the field. That takes us to our inactives presented by Louisiana Cat. Both of those players out, as well as tight end Foster Moreau. Guard Cesar Ruiz also out as he's still dealing with that concussion that he suffered in last week's game. All of that
as you possibly can. You got to keep him off the turf. That's the biggest thing, because if he falls on the shoulder again, we're just not exactly sure how well it's going to hold up. So keeping him as clean as possible is the Saints' mission on the offensive line.
The Saints have 3 defensive backs that are the top 3 in the league on passes defense, with Marshawn Lattimore, Isaac Yiadom, and then Alontae Taylor. So even though they don't have Paulson Adebo out there on the outside or safety Jordan Howden inside, they still have been doing extremely well. How confident are you in their ability to lock things up in the secondary?
Very much so, but Marshawn has to maintain his poise, because he and Mike Evans hate each other, and that's just putting it mildly. So he has to maintain his poise, because there will probably be some instances where Mike Evans might try to bait him, or Tampa Bay might try to bait him, and there has been a history of discomfort between those two. And so hopefully Marshawn will maintain his poise, because he covers Mike Evans. He covers the league's best receivers as well as any top cornerback.
It's always a fun matchup to watch. I know the Saints fans are going to love it. They're going to be loud here inside the Superdome. We were able to catch up with a few of them before they got inside. Here's the Black and Gold roll call presented by Bud Light.
Good morning, and bless those boys in black and gold. Happy, happy, happy Saints game day from the Petries from New Orleans. Go Saints!
Hey, this is Amy and Max from Covington. We're ready for AK to go for 150 yards today.
This is Serena and Macy, and we're here at the Dome to watch the Saints whoop up the Bucs today.
Hey, we're the Looker crew from Sawdell, Louisiana. Watch the Saints beat up on the Bucs today.
Hey, I'm Dylan Smith. This is Layla Rose and Misty Harrison. We're here to watch the Saints beat up the Bucs, son.
Hey, we're the Moors.
And we're the Dufors, all the way from Canada, celebrating our 1-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Go Saints.
Go Saints.
Looking forward to hearing all the fans here pretty soon as we are approaching that 12 o'clock kick on Fox. And I got some good news. The Falcons just lost 23-7 to the Jags, so that means that we're actually playing for the number 1 spot. No share there if we win this game.
Yeah, playing against Tampa Bay. The Falcons lose, the Saints' rival, not Tampa Bay, but the Saints have an opportunity to be first place in the NFC South Division. And look, the first thing you want to do in the NFL is win your division. Win your division, you're in the playoffs, you get the home game, and you go from there. Winning this game will take a big step toward that because they've already beaten Tampa Bay.
Easiest path to get back to the playoffs is winning the division. As far as the poll goes, earlier we asked how many receiving rushing yards you think that running back Alvin Kamara will get in today's game. 26% of you think that it is going to be between 51 and 100 yards. 22% think it's going to be over that, and then even more, some people think are over 150, which I would love to see. So we will see what happens on the field. For John DeShazer, I'm Erin Summers. Thank you so much for watching this one. Saints Bucks, 12 o'clock on Fox. We'll see you after the game right back here for our Saints post-game show.